Apex Legends, a brand new free-to-play battle royale from the developers behind the Titanfall games. With no pre-release trailers or reveals and only a couple tweets leaking the Monday launch, Apex Legends pre-launch hype was next to non-existent, but after just 8 hours the game had already clocked in over 1 million players. That really is an insane number. And just a few hours before the making of this video, during an EA investors call, they confirmed that Apex Legends had over 2.5 million unique users now and over 600,000 peak concurrent users just one day after release. How did this game explode from seemingly nowhere? As someone with way too many hours in Battle Royale style games that has followed this release closely over the last couple days, I'll be comparing Apex Legends to other Battle Royale titles and recent releases to break down the master plan behind this launch.
It's a free game!
Let's begin though by briefly addressing the elephant in the room. With Apex Legends being free to play, it's already slotting itself into a category of games that has seen all sorts of titles over the years. Some of the biggest games around are free to play since they have an easier time attracting players to at least try the game out. But not only is Apex free to play, but with the recent Anthem demos, a lot of people downloaded Origin on PC to play. So when they already had that launcher installed, they might get a pop-up in their Origin or a friend messaging them elsewhere about Apex Legends. And then they already have the launcher and everything else needed to play. Apex Legends is also playable at 39% downloaded of the 13 gigs initial download, which definitely helps with getting people in-game fast. When getting started can be that smooth and easy, more people will give it a go. In addition to this as well, it seems like Origin Access Premier gives you enough in-game currency in Apex Legends to buy another character, and a bunch of people had paid for Origin Access Premier to get their hands on the first Anthem demo. So that's an easy to access, fast to download free game that's also very easy to pick up. This was the start of everyone behind the launch of this game creating the perfect storm for themselves.
Quality content!
The gaming community is used to these rough launches of titles riddled with bugs and games that on release just don't feel finished. It really sucks, but it's so common lately to at least have some sort of issues at launch, and that's the thing, Apex Legends just isn't suffering from any of that. The game just oozes of quality. A lot of care and thought has clearly gone into the many different systems, features and mechanics in the game, and you notice it from the moment you launch the game. It's a polished, full game, and it really pains me to praise it for just being the way it should be at launch. Publishers have customers pay to access alpha and beta testing of a product that a lot of the time is still busted on launch. It seems like Respawn Entertainment actually know how to quality assure and test a product. Now, would you please share that knowledge with the people over at BIOWARE and Bethesda? They could really use a hand. But how did Respawn Entertainment actually do that? There were a couple things they did to actually assure that they had good gameplay and a high quality product before they even released. They'd approached various players, streamers, YouTubers and press to play the game early, not just this past few days but some even months before it came out. So those same people could then suggest gameplay changes and fixes, things that would just make everything feel better, and you really do notice a lot of those things. It's clear that people have been playing this game and then iterating upon it to get to this final product. And Respawn didn't have to sell some sort of early beta access, have a closed alpha or anything. Their development pipeline and the way they went about this just gave results. And again, this is something that AAA development studios around the world need to learn from.
They didn't just copy other games!
Okay, there's a lot here. To put it in perspective, I've rewritten and re-recorded this part about 10 times. So for the record, I won't be covering the feel of the movement and gunplay, because honestly, just play the game yourself to see if you like it or not. There's some cool features in both of those areas, but this is not a review of the game. Let's talk Apex Legends game mechanics and how they help give players a better first impressions of the game, which in return results in more recommendations, downloads, streams, and YouTube videos like this one. First off is the obvious one, respawns. Apex Legends put players in a knocked down state like many other BRs, but if you're killed or bleed out when you're downed, your allies get a timer to grab your banner from your corpse to get you back into the match at a designated respawn point. playing Battle Royale games with friends and having one of you die at the start, that person then just sitting out 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay really sucks. I bet a lot of you watching this video have been in that exact situation. Respawning in Apex though doesn't completely eliminate that shitty situation, but it helps with keeping solo players motivated to keep playing to get their teammates respawned rather than destructively just trying to pick off an enemy to ruin their fun too, or whatever else it may be. This most definitely contributes to getting some players that may not have liked other Battle Royale games to enjoy Apex Legends, and to me, these are exactly the sort of changes we need to see in future BR games to keep the genre from getting stale. Next, the ping system. This is a big one. Fortnite, Blackout and PUBG are all in the same boat in comparison here. The way to call out enemy positions and such has always been to use this compass UI thing at the top of the screen. PUBG started with it and Battle Royale games never stopped implementing it, and I don't know why there's not been any innovation in this aspect at all. So holy shit, is the ping system in Apex Legends a refreshing experience in contrast, where you clearly have some developers thinking for themselves rather than just copying the core BR gameplay loop. Now, I want to be clear, personally I've played BR games for such a long time that using the compass just feels like part of the gameplay. Even in Apex Legends I still use those numbers occasionally to call out positions, but every time a new friend of mine would try to get into a Battle Royale game, that damn compass would just make the experience so much worse for no good reason, because it's hard to get used to just calling things out properly. In Apex Legends you can ping general directions and areas, but also use specified pings in case you're in matchmaking with random people and still want to make an effort to communicate.
Looking for sniper optics. Thanks.
And this is clearly not just pasted on top as well, as they have several voice lines recorded for all the different ping options. And those same pings also show up properly on the map and in-game with relevant icons. This is one of those things that can seem like a bit of a luxury to just have on top of the solid core gameplay, but honestly it's small yet key innovation like this that helps Battle Royale experiences feel better in the long run. Which brings me to my last point on the gameplay mechanics list: longevity enhancers. This is a term that I just made up, but it's the best way I can describe these elements. This game is full with quality of life features that make the game just feel a little bit better to play in longer sittings and such, and I imagine will also help with the longevity of the game. I've covered the game Overwatch for over 3 years on another channel, and this is something that Blizzard have been getting better at over time, but overlooked at launch. Either you get rid of things that get annoying over time or not. It can sometimes be hard to get this right, because sometimes those annoying things aren't discovered in the dev, play and testing, because either one, they don't play for long enough, or two, they're focused on other things. Apex Legends is very good at removing these hurdles that can hinder you from enjoying the game properly, but there definitely are dangers with simplifying aspects of play. When you get rid of those tedious parts of playing a game and try to focus on the heart of the gameplay and the entertainment that it can provide, one of two things can happen. Either A, you end up with a watered down game that isn't fun to play in 2, 3, 4, 5 years after release, or B, you create such a solid core game without all those annoyances that you can keep adding upon and still have it be unique, fun and alive for a long time to come. These are things that a lot of games have struggled with lately, with so many titles being hyped before launch only to then have players find out that there's actually not too much content for them to enjoy when the release rolls around. Apex Legends already has a roadmap, a solid foundation of a game to stand on, and a whole lot of players to now keep entertained. Will Respawn Entertainment be able to keep this Battle Royale alive? Only time will tell, honestly, but as far as launches go, this is pretty much as good as it gets.